Oh, hi, how are you? Do you guys remember when I started the YouTube channel last year, did one video, and then didn't do anything ever again? Yeah, me too. Hopefully I'm not going to do the same thing this year. We'll see. It's going to be a very busy spring that I've got a whole bunch of projects for that I'm hoping I can bring you guys along for. It just kind of depends on what kind of time I'm going to have. So if you can see this giant disaster that is in front of me, this is my seeds for this year. Not all of them, but 80% of them. I've still got some coming in the mail. I've still got some in my vehicle because I didn't go get them. Please ignore the disaster that is my desk on this side. I tried doing my best to crop it out of the video, but it wasn't happening. So we're going to go ahead and go through my seeds this year. I'm kind of changing up how I'm going to do my seeds this year. I really want to focus a lot on herbs and spices this year, just because that's a pretty big cost in our kitchen. Everything gets seasoning on it, and seasoning is expensive. So the more that I can grow myself, the better off I'm going to be. However, there are still some classics, like sugar snap peas here. I absolutely love these things, and I don't think I will ever not grow them. They are delicious. Please hold. They didn't organize very well. In fact, I didn't organize it at all. Oh, whoops. Now, you guys might remember that I grew some of this last year. Absolutely none of it came up. Not even a little bit of it. What happened to it, I have no idea. One thing I did notice is that I did have a few plants sprout up in areas that were 20 feet away from where I actually planted them. So I'm wondering if some squirrels got in there and relocated some of the seeds for me. I'm going to try them again and see what happens. Hopefully, I can keep the squirrels out of there. I'll be growing loofah this year. Again, these are my own seeds that I've kept from last year. I don't think I had anything that will cross-pollinate with these, so I should have a nice loofah this year. And I'm going to keep seeds from my loofahs every year, assuming this one's not ugly. Ugly or really messed up. There's some hollyhock seeds that I got, a couple of years ago for one of my coworkers. I didn't plant them last year, didn't have a chance to plant them last year, but I'm going to plant them this year. I will be growing some sweet corn again, because we ended up canning all of our corn last year, and it was really good. I think we harvested it a little bit too late. I think a little bit on the dry side when we canned it. I'm going to be growing a lot of this year. I've got a huge section of the garden set aside for that, which also, I'm going to have some really big news at the end of this video, so stick around and listen to that, because it's going to be huge. Butternut squash. This stuff was absolutely phenomenal last year, so I don't think I'll ever not grow this. We still have a few left up on the kitchen counter that are, they're still good. 6 months later, they're still good sitting on the counter. We do have some that we cooked and then froze for easy use. This year, I want to try freeze drying some, because I think that'd be a really nice little snack. Oh, that's part of the big news too. Got a freeze dryer. This, I have absolutely no idea what this is because I didn't write anything on it. So this is going to be a mystery for everybody. I have no clue what's in here. It's like Chris in the morning. What is it? Not a clue what that is. Popcorn. I will be growing popcorn again this year. This stuff was really good. Unfortunately, I left some of I didn't get a bunch out of it last year because I didn't take care of it very well. I didn't fertilize it. Didn't do a very good job with it. But I did get a few ears off of it. And it didn't produce as much as I was hoping. But again, I could have done a lot better at taking care of it. This stuff tastes awesome. It is absolutely wonderful tasting. You can also use this as a meal if you wanted to grind it up and use it as a meal. I'm going to be doing this again, and this time I'm going to do a little bit better job with fertilizer and taking care of the plant. Yard long beans, Oriental, I think these are called Oriental Wanderer. The same exact scientific name. It's the same bean, goes by a different name for whatever reason. I've always just called these yard long beans. These things I grew last year on a whim, and this is by far the best tasting vegetable I think I've ever had. I absolutely love these things. We fry them in garlic and butter, and they are absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I will ever go again without growing these. These things are absolutely amazing. 100% recommend if you have not grown any. Now, I did try to grow some Blue Lake beans last year for canning, but I planted them too close. They kind of completely decimated an area, and I had to take them down. So I didn't get any harvest on the Blue Lake beans at all. I did do a round later on in the year, but those didn't, I got like 4 beans off of those plants, so it didn't do very well. So I'm going to try it again, see what happens. And if I have luck with it, I'll continue doing it, because we do use quite a few beans in my house. This is an absolute classic that I will not go without growing at least a little bit of. Kohlrabis are one of my favorite vegetables to grow, and it is also one of my favorite vegetables to eat. This is something that I kind of use as a garden snack. Once it starts getting anywhere between golf ball size and softball size, I'll just wander out there and eat it right in the garden. We did pickle some last year, and it was really, really good. I do intend on doing that again this year. Because the taste was it's phenomenal. I loved it. And it was really nice and crispy we're going on 6 months since I canned those, or 8 months since I've canned those, and they're still got a really nice crisp to them. They're really good. This is something that I want to try out for its medical benefits. I do not have any kind of high blood sugar or anything like that, but this controls high blood sugar to a insane degree. There's a Harvard or Yale, I can't remember which one, scientist that is quoted as saying if everybody were to include bitter melon in their diet, nobody would have diabetes in the United States. And that is just absolutely phenomenal to me. It's also very good at weight loss, which I'm currently in a challenge for, so I could use some. You gotta trust me, I could use some. Red Fife wheat is something that I was planning on growing last year, but never really got around to it. It's probably the least important thing. Actually, crap, you know what? I might have to plant this pretty soon. I might be out of luck. I think I've still got time. So I'm going to try to do this year. I've got a couple of round beds coming that this is going to go into, and we'll see what it's like. I think it'd be really cool to grow my own loaf of bread. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And Red Fife is supposed to have a completely different kind of flavor to it, so it should be pretty good. Denver carrots, I grew an absolute ton of these things last year, and they were great. We canned a bunch of them, we ate a bunch raw, we included some in some cooking, and they were absolutely phenomenal. And I will be growing these probably every year from this point forward. Gonna be growing some pickling cucumbers again. We pickled a whole bunch of these last year, and they weren't great. They got kind of squishy, a little bit soft, so we're going to try to do a little bit better job with these this year. I really want to get pickles nailed down, because I absolutely love pickles. Now, last year I had about 17 plants that I grew of the Roma tomato, but I totally forgot to trellis them until it was too late, and they were all on the ground. I still got a really good harvest out of them. I probably got, 25 pounds of tomatoes. That's just me guessing. We ended up doing a bunch of ketchup with it, and I would like to be able to do more than just ketchup. I want to do ketchup. I want to do all kinds of salsas. I want to do some other sauces. I want to do some freeze-dried chunks. I want to do freeze-dried paste. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do with these, so I got a ton of tomato seeds this year. A ton of them. I'm in the process of building some 5-foot tall tomato trellises as well. You'll see that here in the future. And it's going to be interesting because once it comes time to harvest these, it's going to be wild. This is a determinate tomato, so all of these will come up to ripen at the exact same time. So it's going to be a rush. I might have to take a week or two off of work for that. I'm going to be trying broccoli again. This time I'm using a different variety that is supposed to be a little more pest resistant, but we'll see how that works. These get very, very tall as plants, and instead of having one big head, they just send out a bunch of little heads all over the place. You kind of harvest them as you go. It's not something you harvest all at once. So we'll see how this goes. Last year I did plant some, and they got completely decimated by cabbage worms, those little caterpillar deals. So we'll see how it goes. If I do not have much success with this year, I'm done doing broccoli. I like broccoli. I don't like it that much. Not worth it. One of the things I really want to try to get better at this year is peppers. I planted some last year and they were completely taken over by grass almost immediately, and I didn't bother weeding it, and I didn't get anything out of that. I bought a lot of peppers this year because this is going to be included in my seasonings, right? So I'm going to have to grow some. I got a lot of interesting varieties to try. I don't know for sure how I'm going to keep them apart because I've got a lot of varieties and not a huge space for them. So we'll kind of see how that works. I got some of these. I'm not going to try to pronounce some of these names that I can't pronounce. I have no idea how to say that, so I'm not going to. I've got some of these. These are supposed to be very, very mild and very, very sweet, so I'm hoping those turn out very well for certain things. I got some cayenne blends. I'm also going to use this as kind of for the medical properties of it. I want to make some, that thing that I was reading about on the internet for the last 5 years. I'll put the name at the bottom of the screen. And that's what I'm going to use this for. It's for like a cold remedy. Some sweet bell peppers for paprika. Some banana peppers that I got for free through Baker's Creek because I ordered so much. Some datil, however you pronounce that, peppers that I am absolutely terrified because these are supposed to be incredibly hot. So I'm sure I'll figure out something to use for them because I'm going to plant some for sure. But we'll see what I do with them because I'm not 100% sure. Those might be surprise gifts to other people. Another sweet peppers, Zulu peppers. I'm not familiar with this one at all whatsoever, but I'm going to give it a shot. Some Jimmy Nardello peppers. These things, I'm probably the most excited about these because these are supposed to be very, very, very sweet, and I'm really excited to try these. Different paprika variety that I want to try. A sweet banana pepper variety that I'm probably also going to use for maybe paprika. I don't know yet. We'll see. And that is all I have for my peppers. I do have other peppers out in the vehicle, and I will cover those kind of as I plant them. I'll bring you guys along for that. This is another one that I got last year that I ended up not doing anything with. And I really want to try it. Allegedly, it makes the tastiest jam in the world. And I really want to try it out. So we're going to be growing that this year, at least 1 or 2 plants. Now I'm going to move on to my spices and my seasoning. Okay, so this is all of my seasonings that I'm going to do, and I'm just going to kind of go through them quickly. I've got some rosemary because I want to make some rosemary salt with that. I think that's going to be very good. Dill for all of the stuff we're going to pickle this year. And just for general seasoning because we ended up putting this on a lot of stuff. Some chives. This is going to be something I'm going to freeze dry and or dehydrate. Not sure which I'm going to do with this. And preserve for the rest of the year because I will put chives on literally everything. It's great. Gonna be trying out some lemon bombs for teas. Two different varieties of parsley. I really want to try different varieties of stuff because I want to see if there's much of a difference in flavor and if I can combine those to make a really good seasoning or herbs. I'm really excited about that. Have some thyme as well. This is something we don't use a ton in cooking, but we do use it a little bit, and it's going to be worth growing. Some winter savory. This is something that I have never even heard about before I seen this seed package, and I'm going to give it a shot. It's supposed to have a peppery flavor. Now, I'm not going to be able to hold up all these at once, so I'm just going to kind of... actually, maybe I can. Hold on. Nope. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. Yeah, I'm making progress. There we go. I've got a whole bunch of different basil varieties. And again, I want to try these because I'm very curious if they have any different flavors, if they have any different, like, just kind of different flavor profiles. And I'm really excited to see if blending them makes it better. I'm going to be dehydrating these and then blending them and seeing what that tastes like with my cooking. Some oregano. I use this all the time in my cooking, so it's going to be very helpful. Some cilantro. This also is one of the things that just goes on everything. So I'm going to be growing quite a bit of this. I've got two types of onions, which yes, I will consider onion a seasoning because we end up using it in its dry form as a seasoning more than we use it fresh in cooking or on burgers or whatever. I'm going to try both of these. I'm still trying to figure out how to grow onions. I have one hell of a time trying to get them to come up right. So I'm going to try both of these and see which one works better. Last year I grew a long day sweet onion, and then I put it in the shadiest spot of my yard I possibly could, and the bulbs were maybe quarter size. These are intermediate day. This one's a long day, but I've got a much sunnier spot I want to put it in. And I just want to try these things out and see what they're like. The sweet onions are going to be freeze dried into a powder. Probably same thing with the Gladstone. Well, at least a couple of these I want to mince and try to get some bigger chunks out of, but I don't know how that's going to work. And finally, if I haven't talked about these yet, I can't remember for sure, two different types of parsley. Now, one of the things that I'm going to be doing this year that I didn't do at all last year is I'm going to focus a little more on flowers, okay? We had a problem with poor pollination last year with a lot of my vining stuff, my cucumbers, my butternut squash, things like that. And I want to really try to encourage as much pollinators in my garden as humanly possible. So I've got a few things that I'm going to plant. This isn't everything, that's far from everything. I've got seeds still outside places, I just didn't want to go get them. White yarrow being one of them that I'm going to try to plant. This is going to come back every year in my area, so I'm very excited about that. Lemon balm, I'm going to attempt to figure out where I can put that, where it's not going to completely take over my garden. It's definitely going to be in a container. Marshmallow, I'm going to try to grow some of that. Red yarrow, yellow yarrow, and lastly, bee balm, because apparently bees absolutely love this stuff, and that's where I got its name from. So I'm going to try to do that, hopefully increase some of that pollination in my garden. Now, as far as the big news goes, I do have a whole new section of yard that I'm going to be using as garden space. I've got to wait for a contractor. I do have to wait for a landscaper to come in and landscape that side of the yard because I can't build raised beds on ground that's like this. So I got to have it flattened out. I'm going to be removing a couple of plants that's already in there, like a big bush that I can't get killed off, and a bunch of other stuff like that. Once that is done, we're going to be building a whole new garden, and it's going to be very exciting. And it's going to make my garden about 1/3 of an acre. So for sure that's not all going to be planted this year. There's going to be a very slow, long process because there's going to be a lot of cost to it. But I will be bringing you guys along in every bit of that. I'm going to get out of here. Actually, that reminds me. Garlic, also. This is good. This is, again, something that I consider seasoning, okay? Because I use it in its dry form way more than I use it in its fresh form. This is hardneck Russian garlic, I think. Smells absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to be planting that right now once I shut this video off. I've got a ton of it, by the way. Because I use the hell out of garlic. Very excited about that. Alright, well, I'm going to go prep the garden. I'll see you guys next time.